KEET-TV and the League of Women Voters of Humboldt County present a forum for candidates running to represent the 5th District on the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. Viewers may submit questions during this forum by calling 707-445-0811. This forum is also being streamed live at our KEET.org website. And now your moderator from the League of Women Voters, Ann Hartline.
Good evening. I'm Ann Hartline with the League of Women Voters of Humboldt County. I'd like to welcome all our viewers tonight for a live candidates forum with the two candidates for the Office of Supervisor, District 5 for the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. Candidates with us this evening are Larry Doss and Steve Madrone. The League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan political organization, encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. The League never endorses candidates or political parties. We do take positions on issues after extensive study and member consensus. The League is dedicated to providing impartial information about voting and the political process. Before we begin our forum this evening, I'd like to share something with our candidates and with the viewing audience. 32 years ago, it was suggested to the League board that we have live televised candidate forums. Board President Judy Bennett met with St. Clair Adams, Executive Director of KEET at that time, and he agreed. And so began our KEET participation of candidate forums. A few years later, Carol Masterson, also a League board member, took over the job of facilitating these events with KEET. This past January, we lost Carol to leukemia. So I want to take this moment to express our gratitude for all she did to make these forums a success. We now have a committee doing what Carol did all by herself for over 25 years. Thank you, Carol, and thank you, KEET-TV. So, to continue, League members are serving tonight as phone volunteers, question sorters, timekeeper, and courier. Their names will appear in the credits after the program. Since our program tonight will include the use of questions called in from the viewing public, I encourage you to begin calling in your questions to 707-445-0811. The format for tonight's forum will be as follows. Each candidate will be given a maximum of 1 minute to respond to questions previously sent to the League or phoned in by the viewing audience tonight. At the end of the question period, each candidate will have the opportunity to make a 2-minute closing statement. The candidates have drawn lots to determine the order of closing statements. For your information, the job description for the Board of Supervisors is to lead county government, pass legislation and administer services and programs, approve budgets, hire staff, and set policy. The salary range for this position is $97,710 to $108,453. And so we will begin now with our questioning period. Our first question for both candidates is, what are the challenges of serving such a geographically large district? And we will start with Steve Madrone.
Oh, thank you very much. So yes, the 5th District is very large and very geographically diverse. It's basically everything north and east of the Mad River. It's about 2/5 of Humboldt County, so it's a very large area and very different communities. Unlike the other 4 districts in the county, the 5th District only has one incorporated city, and that's the city of Trinidad. So the bulk of the 5th District is in county jurisdiction, and that matters a lot in terms of how things work in the district. There are many wonderful community service districts, volunteer fire departments, and 7 of 8 of the local tribes are located within the 5th District. I've lived in the district for 46 years. I know the outskirts of the district. I know the people. I have the contacts, and I've been working in that district for 46 years.
Larry Doss, your comments, please.
Thank you. Yeah, 5th District is a very large geographic area. It has various communities spread across that geographic area and various ecosystems. Vast amounts of highways and county road systems, potential for large natural disasters, which we have seen in the last year with wildfires and severe winter storms. The 5th District includes the Mad River, the Trinity River, the Klamath River, and Redwood Creek, all major functions of the county, plus lagoons and lakes. We also include the county, state, and national parks, which are welcome to 1.3 approximately million visitors a year come to visit the 5th District and Humboldt County. The residents of the 5th District tend to have a lot of grit and are very ingenious with surviving in the rural parts of California.
Our next question. Please state your views on citizen oversight of law enforcement and the composition of a Citizens Law Enforcement Review Board. And we'll begin with Larry Doss for his response.
Citizen overview is a great way to have the community involved in all subjects, especially law enforcement. And there's been we are very fortunate to have a sheriff that reaches out and invites that kind of interaction within the county. There's a lot of creativity with law enforcement, and for the 5th District, it's a large area to govern for a sheriff, and so help from the supervisors is critical as far as adding services and support with community members.
Steve Madrone, your response, please.
Yes, that's a great question. We do have a lot of really excellent law enforcement officers in Humboldt County, both within the county as well as within the cities. But it's always good to have a law enforcement review board that is citizen-based, working with the departments to try and make sure that we're getting all the training we need for our officers to be able to deal with what is a continuously emerging and difficult environment out there on the streets to work with. So I think that CLRBs, or Citizen Law Enforcement Review Boards, are a good way to help improve our training and our services, provide review back to the departments so that they can improve on their performance for the community. The City of Eureka is currently working on such a plan, and they've been implementing that for a while. And I think we as a county could also implement such a program, and it would serve the community really well to have that feedback back and forth with the law enforcement departments.
Our next question. Many studies have cited grave concerns about sea level rise and Humboldt Bay. What actions would you advocate to begin to deal with this huge problem for our county? And we'll start with Steve Madrone's response.
Yeah, well, climate change is real, and sea level rise is one of the impacts of climate change. And it's interesting because Humboldt Bay is predicted to actually have a greater impact from sea level rise than anywhere else in the entire state of California. And that's because the land is going down due to plate tectonics or geology and things like that, and then the sea is coming up, so it kind of creates a double compounded effect. So what we need to do is be able to retreat and or adapt. We have a lot of highways, we have sewer plants and other things that are in the footprint of the sea level rise. So we've got a lot of work to do. And at the county, we have drafted a climate action plan that looks at all the details of how we might be able to adapt and move forward to be able to deal with the impacts of sea level rise on our sewer systems, our roads, and other facilities around the bay. So we're actively engaged in that, and I look forward to working with people to incentivize many of the things we're going to need to do to react.
Larry Doss, your comments, please.
So as a former harbor commissioner, I've been involved with a lot of planning on sea level rise, and every time there's any sort of development on the coastline, sea level rise is one of the main issues that comes up with a litany of other issues concerning environmental concerns, climate change, and whatnot. But sea level rise is always a main part of the existing planning system. And it's working right now, and everyone's very aware of it. We just need to be aware of, as information changes, time goes by, that we adapt and adjust to requirements for future needs with sea level rise.
All right, our next question. In your opinion, what are the biggest infrastructure needs in Humboldt County? And we will start with Larry Doss.
Infrastructure, roads are in big need of attention in the 5th District. We've got a good system of trails right now, and we've got a good system with public transportation. Both could use some additional help, and I'd like to see some of that expanded on. I believe the community is open to expanding on both of those trails and public transportation. The other part of infrastructure that we need to be paying attention to is the broadband, which luckily the new arrangement with Cal Poly Humboldt is they will be spreading broadband across the county in their adaptation to becoming a Cal Poly here in Humboldt County. There's other infrastructure issues as far as clean water and providing clean water and access to more residents in the 5th District, as well as fire hydrants for public safety and keeping insurance costs down.
Steve Madrone, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, that's a great question. And many of the topics that are important have been mentioned already: roads, trails, water, broadband. These are all critical issues. We don't have the funding we need to take care of our roads. I think that's obvious. That's probably the most calls I get as a supervisor is about our roads. So I've been at the last meeting with our board. I recommended that we bring forth a measure to be able to raise funds to be able to help take care of our roads. We're doing a great job with trails. I'm pleased to say that I was heavily involved in the construction of the Hammond Trail and many others, including the Great Redwood Trail that I sit on as the vice chair down the Eel River Canyon. Water is also important. While most of the community gets its water from the Mad River, in the 5th District, the vast majority of that district gets its water from wells, springs, and streams. And we have a lot of work to do to increase that resiliency. I helped Trinidad and West Haven just secure $12 million for helping them. And I'm working with the tribes in the county to help secure the 50,000 acre feet of water that we have under contract on the Trinity River.
All right, at this point, I want to remind our viewers to please phone in your questions to 707-445-0811. All right, our next question. What would you recommend to improve the county's financial stability? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
Well, one of the biggest things we can do is to support health care for all, or what's often called Medicare for all. By doing that, we would save the county millions and millions of dollars in terms of our health plans. Not only that, but it would save citizens a lot of money in terms of their health services. So by saving that money, by adopting a national health care plan and state health care plans, we would be able to take that money and start paying down our pension liabilities, which are a huge issue in our budget. There are a lot of other ways that we can streamline our services and be more efficient. And I'm proud to say that I helped lead the board in raising salaries for all of our staff and all of our deputies so that we can fully serve our communities. And by doing so, we've also increased morale. And by having improved recruitment, retention, and morale, we know that that's going to help improve efficiencies and services for our community because there's so much to do.
Larry Doss, your response to the question, please.
Thank you. So the financial stability for the county, efficiency is one, and that has been a topic in the news lately on a lot of different reasons. Having a budget that's passed, adopted, and able to move on to the next one officially so that we can be eligible for grants and other budget issues coming from the state and get projects that are due to Humboldt County. So that's very important, is maintain our efficiency, look for opportunities within the budget to save money. And then the other big important part is to encourage large employers with living wage jobs that want to be here in Humboldt County, such as the Nordic Aquaculture Program, which is an organic fish land-based system here in Humboldt County, and we need to be prepared to say yes to those employers that are willing to provide living wage jobs.
Our next question, how long has your primary residence and registration to vote been in the 5th District? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
My primary residence in the 5th District has been since 2020, and I've been registered to vote since 2020 in the 5th District. I've lived and owned our family home in the 5th District since 2004. And I'm a longtime resident of Humboldt County, lifelong resident Humboldt County. So I'm very familiar with all areas of Humboldt County, but especially the 5th District, because I spent more time in the 5th than anywhere else in the county.
Steve Madrone, your comments, please.
Well, you know, this residency matter is important, and it keeps getting more concerning. On top of all the questions about whether or not Mr. Doss has actually moved his primary residence to his ranch estate in the 5th District, last week he wrote in the Times-Standard that he had lived in Oric since 2004. This then raises serious concerns about how long he could be living in Oric while representing Eureka in the 1st District on the Harbor Commission. I worry that this kind of thing might impact voter confidence. That said, I can tell you that I've clearly lived in the 5th District for the last 46 years. I know the community. I've worked on many projects. I know the rivers, the streams, and the tribes and residents. I know the small business owners. And I've worked really hard to try and help increase economic development throughout the 5th District in my 46 years of living there.
Our next question, what action will you advocate or will you take to help alleviate the problem of fish disease in the lower Klamath River? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
So the problems with fish disease come around the fact that we have a lot of warm water in our rivers due to low flows. In the Klamath River in particular, we're working to bring down the dams. I sit on the committee that is working to make that happen, the signatory committee. And what happens is the dams on the Klamath don't actually, 4 out of the 6 of them that are coming down, the 4, do not provide water for irrigating crops. They provide energy for hydro, for electricity in Oregon, actually, for the most part. Those dams then pool up water behind them, making a lot of warm water. That then gets released into the river, affecting algae and the fish. I've also been working to make the call for 50,000 acre-feet of water on the Trinity River that we have under contract, and by getting that water released down the Trinity River at appropriate times during the year, we can help cool the waters to protect and enhance our salmon fisheries.
Larry Doss, your comments, please.
You bet. So we've had this problem for quite a few years, and not a lot of results have shown up on fixing these river issues. One is definitely the 50,000 acres of water that was promised by the federal government needs to be moving, and we need to have an advocate as a 5th District supervisor to advocate to the feds to let's start releasing that water in a timely manner and in a manner that the biologists see fit to get the water moving and stay cool. The tributaries also need to have some help, and there's a lot of tributaries that hit those rivers, that the Trinity and the Klamath, that are choked out, and we need to open those up. Water flowing deep, cool, it will be cool. Deep water, moving water stays cool for the fish. So the other side of it is a return on investment. We can say that we work on the rivers, and we've had a few years to do it, and we haven't increased our fish population. So this is an important issue to jump on right away.
Our next question, what will you do to help the Town Center project in McKinleyville to move forward and also fill current business vacancies? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
You bet. So the current Town Center project in McKinleyville is well on its way, and it's had great movement from community members in design and a lot of ideas coming forward. It's been a really interactive process. So I would just encourage that to keep moving forward, and it's going to keep evolving and developing as the community members, more and more community members jump in and participate. Vast participation is going to lead to a better project, and using all of the experts that chime in on the town center project from various government entities as well as private, and of course the residents of McKinleyville have the big say.
Steve Madrone, your response, please.
Yeah, well, the Town Center project in McKinleyville is a very exciting effort that's happening between the county and the community. And that particular project was delayed for about 20 years. It was actually included as a measure to move forward in the 2001 McKinleyville Community Plan, but it languished under previous supervisors. As soon as I took office, I was able to get my full board support to move that project forward, working with the Planning Commission, Planning Department, as well as the McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee, where I helped appoint a very diverse array of community leaders who are working together to bring that vision forward. One of the reasons why McKinleyville has a lot of empty spaces is because it's trying to survive off of economic support from a bedroom community. I've been working on a project called the Vista Point Park to bring people off the highway. That will help build out the business park at the airport and with the town center. Those three items will bring in additional money and support small local businesses.
Our next question, how would you address the needs for housing in the 5th District as well as the rest of the county? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
Well, housing is one of those very critical issues all over the place, right? And now we're going to add 7,000, 8,000 more students and professors at HSU. So we already have a housing problem. We're going to add to that. So what we've done as a Board of Supervisors is we've passed a brand new housing element that is going to incentivize accessory dwelling units, tiny homes, detached bedrooms, and there's a new law that's actually going to assist with allowing housing projects to move forward more quickly. So all of these things are incentives that will allow us to start creating more housing. I've also been working with the Hoopa Valley Tribe. They have a modular plant out in Hoopa that's been shuttered for the last 8-9 years, and I've been working with them. We've just got it back open, and we're hoping that that can produce a tremendous amount of tiny homes that can be put on public property, private property, and help us start solving some of the problems with our housing crisis and bringing forth affordable housing for everybody.
Larry Doss, your comments, please.
You bet. So this is right up my expertise. Housing. Number one, we need to somewhat get out of the way and let the private enterprise handle development. Right now, there's a large housing project in Cutton that is being stumbled and stifled mainly because of some comments from our 5th District Supervisor of adding on additional points and issues. Housing is a basic need in the county for everyone. So whether it's rental housing or I'd also like to encourage ownership and help people that want to get into a home, own it, and take advantage of gaining personal wealth. It's easily done. It doesn't take a lot of money from the county to do, but we need to encourage those developments and not be the roadblocks that we've been as a county for many, many years.
Thank you. I am reminded to remind our viewers to please phone in your questions to 707-445-0811. Our next question, this is a little bit longer question than we've had before. The Department of Health and Human Services Mental Health Department is short-staffed. Thus, patients are sometimes boarded in our local hospital emergency departments, sometimes instead of jail. The result is a disruption of care in emergency departments, increased violence against nurses, and nurses resigning. What would you do to improve mental health care provided in our community and to support our local hospital emergency departments? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
Thank you. This is combined with another issue of homelessness in Humboldt County, is taxing on all levels of services, but especially in our medical services. The DHHS has wonderful leadership there. They have people that are passionate about getting their job done. As a county, we need to help facilitate and encourage additional employees hired that want to share that mission, as well as we want to be finding places to develop for facilities, places for this kind of service to be done that is not tripping up the medical system. The medical system was not designed for this type of work to be done, and so we need to make a place for this, and that's one of the things that the supervisor needs to work on, is that planning.
Steve Madrone, your thoughts, please.
Well, the Department of Health and Human Services is absolutely understaffed, like every county department. And a major reason for that understaffing was the low wages that we were paying. So I led the board in moving forward to increase salaries by 10%. After looking at surrounding counties and making sure that our wages were equitable to surrounding areas, and then a 10% wage increase on top of that. I was proud to hear that Sheriff Hansel said that those raises that we provided to all our county employees had an immediate effect on recruitment, retention, and morale. And the same thing is going to be happening in all the departments. So with that action at our board that I helped lead, we will be increasing staffing with those wages, and also adding outreach workers to ride along with our county deputies, so that when we encounter folks on the street that are struggling with housing insecurity, mental illness, or addiction issues, we have trained social workers to help de-escalate the situation, work with people, help them get into programs.
Our next question, what would you do or support that is different from what the County Board of Supervisors is doing now? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
Well, I think there's a lot of things we can do better as a county supervisors. One of them is we can bring back public comments to the beginning of the agenda in the morning. We've had a lot of negative comments about the move by our chair to put that into the afternoon. We've got to do a lot better at allowing our community to engage us. The Zoom has actually been a positive aspect of the pandemic, in that it allows people, especially in the 5th District and Southern Humboldt, to be able to engage in our meetings in ways that they never could before. And now we're doing hybrid meetings where we're allowing for Zoom access while we're also having in-person meetings. So those are ways that we can increase participation from the community. Also getting back to bringing our budget roadshow back, so that we're reaching out to the community to find out what are your priorities for our community. And I know that housing, roads, mental health services, these are many of the priorities we hear from our community.
Larry Doss, your comments, please.
Right. The culture in the county could use some help. And starting from the leadership role of supervisors to encourage that culture change would make big differences throughout the enjoyability and productivity of county employees. So if we can start working on our culture, and it's not just solved by money, it's by helping you love where you work. And a lot of the county employees love where they work, but they are missing a little bit. And that's what I'm bringing to the table also, is the ability to create culture in a work environment. And I'm very sensitive to that. I believe that if our county employees are a little bit more happy, that will resonate out to us as residents receiving the service from the county employees.
Our next question, Humboldt County pension costs have spiraled from 18% of payroll costs to 32% in the last 11 years, which has also increased pension debt. What strategies can be implemented to overcome this expense without cutting current services? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
Thank you. So pension costs are a tricky deal. A lot of them are a lot of times market-based costs because of stock market goes up or down. It relates to what the percentages the county pays for pension costs. Good years mean that the county pays a little bit less, and poor years in the market and pension costs go up. So to stabilize that, the county really needs to look at rainy day funds and establishing a large rainy day fund to fill those gaps, so that it doesn't become a budget issue and a challenge on whether to choose paying committed long-term debts or sacrificing important items on the budget. And then also constantly looking at the budget to get it to be a balanced budget and not year after year increasing in large amounts.
Steve Madrone, your response, please.
Absolutely. Well, yes, pension costs are drowning government in many ways. They just keep increasing. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the big ticket items that we can be working on is health care for all. Once we shift our county from having to pay for all those medical plans to a health care for all process, it not only saves the individual providers a lot of money, but it will also help the county save millions and millions of dollars. We can be putting that into paying down our pension costs. But there are other things that we can do to be able to run our budgets more efficiently, more smoothly. And as I just said previously on the earlier questions, having better wages so we can attract more staff. The staff have increased morale. They become more efficient, more committed to their work. Those are all ways that we can run a more efficient government. We also can add grant writers that can bring in our tax dollars that we've paid out through federal and state grants to help us solve problems with our roads, with mental health issues, housing, and so much more.
Our next question. Homelessness is a huge problem throughout Humboldt County. What plans do you hope to implement to deal with this problem? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
Well, that is probably the most complex issue that we're dealing with in today's world is housing insecurity and homelessness. And so, as I said earlier, we've adopted a new housing element that is going to incentivize the building of affordable housing, such as ADUs, tiny homes, etc. But we also have to be able to find a way to be able to provide transitionary services, whether that be sanctioned camps, safe parking lots. So, you know, to solve the homelessness problem, you've got to have funding. You've got to have partners like Arcata House Partnership, Betty Chin, and others that step up and provide those services working with the county. And you have to have locations to be able to provide these services. Luckily, the funding is increasing to help solve some of these problems. And we also have an increasing number of partners. We need to do better at being able to turn around payments to our nonprofit partners so they can step up and help us with these programs. And we need to have a lot of empathy in terms of locating services and finding places where we can help people transition.
Larry Doss, your comments, please.
So the homeless issue really is the crux of a lot of other issues and cause for issues towards everything such as public safety. There is a new program that DHHS is rolling out here that's going to be similar to like a triage center. So we do need to build some safe places for the homeless population to come, whether it's in a camping mode, dormitory, small apartments, and then combine that with services from DHHS and get people lined up. I firmly believe that if we put that together and what I've researched with our sheriff, that it starts to solve a lot of other issues within the county if we can get a place or multiple places for the triage of homeless and the services to begin.
Our next question, what can be done so that residents will have household compost collection in McKinleyville from either Humboldt Sanitation or Recology? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
You know, I love the topic of reuse or taking waste and make it useful. So I compost at home, and composting is really a fun event for all ages. So to do that, there can be a little bit of help maybe from the county, probably mostly on education. There's a lot of different directions to go, and we've got a lot of great minds that can help with putting systems together on small scale levels. And then we also have other large scale levels of composting that are being looked at that even generate power, such as digesters. So composting is a great subject. I'd love to get behind that and push it further. And there's a lot of people that are experts in that here in this county that I'd like to employ on that mission.
Steve Madrone, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, composting is an amazing thing. You take your kitchen waste, you take some leaves, you take your grass clippings, you mix them together, turn them, make sure it stays a little moist, and you produce this magnificent soil product. I've got a 4-bin system on my property, and I produce about 100 bags, 102 cubic foot bags of compost every year. My kids laugh at me when I'm mowing the lawns. We got a lot of lawn, and I say, well, I'm collecting worm food right now. I also sit on the Humboldt Waste Management Authority board, and we are working on this issue because come January 1st, we're going to have to be collecting all of our organic kitchen waste. It no longer will be able to be thrown in the garbage and mixed in. In order to do that, we need a system where those that are collecting it at the home and doing it themselves are not charged a fee. There are other small service providers like the Worm Guy and many others that are working to try and collect from businesses. We also have Humboldt Sanitation that will be doing the commercial part of that. We also have a situation where with this organic waste and the Nordic Fish Farm fish waste, we could be producing a fertilizer product that can be exported from the county.
Our next question. Do you have any conflicts of interest that would require you to recuse yourself from voting on the zoning codes, housing policy, or the housing element? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
No, I do not have any conflicts of interest. I just own one property where my family, we have a couple of homes, and I've got my daughter and many of my grandkids living there. And I just own the one property. So I think I probably have the shortest, what's called the 700 form that we all as elected individuals have to fill out. So I have one property, no other businesses. I focus on this job as supervisor. So I do not have conflicts of interest in that arena. You know, having a conflict of interest does not make one a bad person. But when you have a conflict because of your personal holdings or other issues, it is important that you recuse yourself from the discussion or the voting and you separate yourself out from any decision making. So for me, I have never had to, in the last 3.5 years, recuse myself due to any kind of a conflict of interest because my life is pretty simple like most of you out there in viewer land. So I take that issue very seriously.
Larry Doss, your response, please.
I have no conflicts of interest regarding housing. I have been in the housing business as a real estate broker for almost 30 years, but I have no conflicts of interest regarding housing. In fact, I bring expertise to the table of how to get it done right and not stifle it. It's very important right now that we don't take missteps with housing and that we make the right decisions that are realistic decisions and not throw unnecessary burdens onto folks that are sticking their neck out there and building with the hopes of being able to sell a home. And those are the people we need to encourage in business right now because we don't have enough homes. And I do own a few properties. I live within the zoning on those properties. I don't step outside of zoning or permitting, and I'm happy to be a good neighbor, and I'm bringing a lot to the table for housing.
All right, our next question. What is your opinion on Measure R as a road tax? And please explain. And we'll start with Larry Doss for that.
There is a necessity to increase dollars for roads. I'm not always in favor of doing it through a tax, so I've got mixed emotions with that. I feel like through efficiencies we can get more done and not overburden the taxpayers of Humboldt County. So my first preference is to be efficient and do things smart. It's also going back to good culture within the county and try more avenues to stay away from additional taxes because that adds to just the cost of living, and we need to be mindful to try to keep that cost of living as low as possible for Humboldt County residents.
Steve Madrone, your response, please.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, roads are probably one of the #1 issues that I get calls and emails from all the time. Ever since Prop 13 many years ago, we have simply not had enough funding to maintain our roads. Every now and then there's a proposition, SB 1 happened, and that gave us some new money, but it's not enough to maintain our road system. So just last week at our board meeting, I brought up this issue and actually recommended that we consider a Measure R, and we go to the voters and ask them their opinion. We poll them and see if that might be something they might support. Like Measure Z, we can see that when the voters see that they're going to get direct benefit from a particular tax, while nobody wants to be taxed, if they're going to get that direct benefit, they support that measure. And that's how Measure Z and Measure O passed. And I believe that if we had a Measure R that was very specific to funding for roads, I believe that the voters would recognize that would provide them with direct benefit and would support it. One way or another, we have to get some more funding for roads.
Our next question, how do you intend to support and respect tribal sovereignty for all local tribes? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
Well, as some of you may know, we have a lot of tribes and rancherias here in Humboldt County. 7 out of 8 of them are in the 5th District. And sovereignty is a really important issue. Native American tribes have been dealt a really harsh world over the last 150 years in our area and others. And it's time that we recognize the need to work with tribes, support them in their sovereignty issues and moving forward. So I support sovereignty of tribes. There are some things that happen sometimes that go beyond tribal boundaries that then require working directly with the communities that surround those areas. But sovereignty is very important. And there's this thing called government-to-government relations that occurs where we respect the sovereignty of these tribes and have confidential conversations and treat them as the government that they are. And so I absolutely support sovereignty for all of our tribes.
Larry Doss, your thoughts, please.
Sovereignty is very simple for me. I fully support it. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not going to throw any ands or additions or amendments to that. I just fully support sovereignty. I'd also like to see the tribes and rancherias invited to the HCOG association. I believe they all need a seat at that table and put their voice forward when the county is making decisions, because it goes both ways. Decisions within the county and things that happen outside of the jurisdiction of the tribes affect the tribes. So it goes both ways. I fully support sovereignty, and I would fully advocate on all levels for the sovereignty of all of our tribes.
Our next question, drug-related deaths have increased, yet there is no new money for drug treatment. How will you help to improve drug treatment? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
I was raised by a high school teacher and coach that pioneered drug education classes. So education is huge. And education, that term, I believe, is overused, but true education to the streets, so to speak, and the possible users of drugs need to hear the message that it's something that they need to know all the downsides of it. With that, though, we need to fully support DHHS. There's systems in place. We just need to get people hired and working systems. And we need to be mindful at all levels that drug abuse can come from any level in our society, and we need to be open to those solutions and get it solved. But education helps the most.
Steve Madrone, your comments, please.
Well, it is alarming, the number of drug-related deaths that are happening in our community, especially lately. And there was a lot of discussion at our board last week about that and what the sources of these drugs are, especially fentanyl. And we had a really lively discussion about that. And, you know, the war on drugs did not work. We find that when we slam down on one provider of drugs in one place, it just pops up in another. So what we have come to realize after long effort in trying to solve these problems is that we have to work on the underlying conditions of housing insecurities, mental health illness, and drug addiction issues. And if we can work on those through education, providing services to help people turn their lives around, then we're going to start making progress on that, and we're going to start saving lives. And it's true, education is absolutely a very important component of that. There have been a lot of programs that have happened all over the world that have been very successful at dealing with these issues, and we can learn from those other countries and other places.
Our next question, do you support increased funding for the Humboldt County Library System? In what ways do you think the Board of Supervisors can support the public library system? And we'll start with Steve Madrone.
Yes, I do think there's more we can do to support our libraries. And it is an evolving situation. I think some of you may remember back when it was all encyclopedias, right? And then you'd go to the library. Well, nowadays, with all the online search engines, you can just about ask almost any question you want online. But not everybody has access that way. And libraries just provide so much more than what online services do. So, you know, we need to be working a lot harder to improve some of our remote libraries, especially in the 5th District, where in Willow Creek, we really need a new building, a new facility. We've got a program in Humboldt. We have one in Trinidad. We have a library in McKinleyville. And I'm so grateful that the McKinleyville Community Service District provides us with a very low rent for the library in McKinleyville. Yes, there are more things that we can do as a board. To do that, we have to be able to manage our budget, find ways to be more efficient, as we talked about earlier, and then provide more funding to things like libraries.
Larry Doss, your response, please.
It's easy to support libraries. I have no problem supporting libraries, and there's a lot of different opportunities to also join in as a community and support libraries. There's plenty of organizations within the community that are ready, willing, and able to donate and help man and help fill books on the shelves, or the technology access for just coming in and getting access to the internet. So there's a lot of different opportunities to fund the library without taking away from other parts of the budget. And again, it goes back to efficiencies. There's a lot of efficiencies that we can ramp up within our budget and make it a little bit easier for libraries and other like-kind services to receive a bump.
All right. Well, in order to finish this forum on time, this will be the last question of the candidates before we get to their closing statements. So the final question here is, what can be done to increase water and drought resiliency in the 5th District and throughout the county? And we'll start with Larry Doss.
Water is a huge issue, and there's resolution to that. There's several different answers because the 5th District is such a wide and different ecosystem across from inland to the coast. One of the issues is looking at the Mad River, and the state has opportunity to come in and reevaluate the water rights for Humboldt County on the Mad River in 2029. If we don't use it, we lose it, essentially. So the public water system running up and charging fire hydrants up into the Trinidad or north section will be great improvement to help reduce insurance costs and have resiliency for the ecosystem in the Trinidad, West Haven area. There's also other incentives that we can do for capturing water during our wet months and storing it on site. And this is a vast subject and a lot of different issues that can't really be handled in 1 minute.
Steve Madrone, your response, please.
Well, water resiliency is on everybody's mind. And as I mentioned earlier, the 5th District in McKinleyville, they get water from the Mad River. But the bulk of the 5th District gets its water from springs, streams, wells, etc. So there's a lot of work we can do to increase storage, both municipal storage as well as individual storage with rainwater collection to help get us through some dry periods. I'm proud to say that I work directly with the Trinidad City Council and the community and the West Haven Community Service District, and we just secured over $12 million in the last couple of weeks to help that community add storage and fix leaks. They were losing 40% of their water through leaky pipes. We also have a lot of new efficiencies coming in with drip irrigation and other approaches to save water. For the Mad River, we need to be able to be moving forward with creative and necessary uses of that water. And one of the primary things that the Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District has been recommending is keep that water in the river for the salmon habitat for good biological conditions.
All right, to close the program, we will now hear a 2-minute closing statement from from each candidate in summation. I did promise you I'd kind of tell you some of the other topics we didn't get to. Certainly, people would like to hear about your view of timber company clear cutting and marijuana cultivation. So we will begin with a 2-minute closing statement from Steve Madrone.
Well, thank you. First, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for organizing and running this, as they always so capably do. Also, KEET-TV, thank you both for putting on this forum for the voters. I'm running for re-election to continue working for a vibrant, safe, and healthy community that benefits all of us. As your supervisor, I've helped raise wages and salaries for deputies and county employees to increase public safety and services. I voted for programs to help alleviate homelessness. I found funds to help our fire districts and brought resources to help residents address code violations and dangerous road conditions. My priorities for the next term including addressing more affordable housing, protecting our rivers, streams, and watersheds, and improving relationships with local tribes. And I'll follow through on efforts to create a town center in McKinleyville. There are several large projects coming to Humboldt which could bring in many jobs and many positive things. I will make sure that they receive proper public review and hire local workers, while also paying union rates and conserving our natural resources. I will continue to consider climate change in all my actions and votes, from increasing public transit and installing solar to adapting to sea level rise, droughts, and fires. I have worked for these values my entire life, starting as an Eagle Scout, and now that I'm a grandfather, I'm even more committed to achieving these goals. I love Humboldt County and have lived in the 5th District for 46 years. I'm proud and honored to have been endorsed by Congressman Huffman, Senate Majority Leader Mike McGuire, the Karuk, Hupa, and Yurok tribes, the Humboldt County Democrats, Supervisor Mike Wilson, Trinidad Mayor Steve Ladwig, MCSD Chair David Couch, and dozens of other elected officials and local citizens in the 5th District, as well as many unions. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Larry Doss, your closing statement, please.
Thank you. As a lifelong resident of Humboldt County, I am very excited about starting day one and getting to work on the fly. I have plans for affordable housing, smart growth planning, living wage jobs, green energy, medical access, homelessness, public safety, efficiency within government, public lands and water protected, and our fisheries increased. I have no special interest connections, and I have no control over me from any special interests. I've got a proven long-term history of respect for others, integrity, honesty, and diligence and tenacity to get the job done. I work on results. I don't work on promises. What I say, I do. So as your 5th District Supervisor, you can expect solutions coming for public safety. As I've walked through the various communities in the 5th District and talked to residents across the county, public safety has been the primary issue that comes forward as far as wanting more attention from the Sheriff's Department, and knowing also that we have safe communities through fire protection. Most of our 5th District is protected by volunteer fire departments. So I plan on bolstering their support and incorporating the support with CAL FIRE that we already have, and get more efficiencies and have the expectation of safety be there when residents of 5th District call and need them. I want to thank the League of Women Voters. I remember watching this as a little kid, and I want to thank KEET for putting this on. This is great to be in your studio today. Thank you very much.
This concludes tonight's program. I'd like to thank KEET-TV for airing this forum to help voters be better informed about their voting choices. KEET-TV will continue airing candidate forums as the month progresses on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. The next forum will be Wednesday, May 18th, and that's with the candidates for district attorney. Following that, on Monday, May 23rd, there will be a forum with county recorder, clerk, registrar of voters, on Monday the 23rd, candidates. Wednesday, May 25th, Arcata City Council candidates. And in conclusion, on Wednesday, June 1st, for Superior Court judge. I'd like to thank those of you who took the time to email or phone in your questions. We've gotten a clearer picture of the issues in our community because of your concerns and questions. I'd like to thank the candidates themselves for taking the time from their very hectic schedules to answer the questions of voters. Many questions. We had 20 questions today on all kinds of different topics. Thank you also for having the dedication to democracy to run for this very important office. Thank you all for watching, and please return your vote-by-mail ballot through the U.S. mail, into a secure drop box, or any polling place, or vote at your precinct on June 7th. Power is in your vote. Thank you.